I'm going to tell you something that took me years to figure out. If you want a career in technology consulting, there is one role you should target first. Not as a project manager, not as a developer, not even as a data analyst. It's a business analyst. And in this video, I'm going to show you why this one role opens more doors than any other in our industry of technology. And I'm just going to shorten it for tech consulting. If you don't know who I am, first time on this channel, hello, I'm Tammy L. Davis, and my career path looked like this. I started off as an administrative assistant in tech consulting, and then I became a business analyst / senior consultant with Oracle Corporation. From there, I moved into testing, then training, and now I'm a certified change management practitioner working on major technology and business transformations. And here's what I want you to know. None of that happened without me being in that business analyst role. That actually was the turning point. That role was my launch pad, the launch pad. And I'm not alone. The people who I started with as business analysts with Oracle, they're now project managers, solution architects, product managers, data analysts, change managers, all different paths, but we all started in the same place. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly where the business analyst role can take you, and I'm showing you also why it's the gateway. So why is business analyst the role? Because you actually touch every single part of a technology project. Then let me walk you through what I mean by that. As a BA, business analyst, again, you're in the room from day one. You're sitting in those initial client meetings where everyone is trying to figure out what the actual problem is. You're the one asking key questions like, walk me through your current process, or what happens when this particular aspect of the process doesn't work or fails. You're learning how to read the room, how to dig deeper when something doesn't make sense, and more importantly, how to manage client expectations. Then you're working with solution architects and developers to figure out what actually is possible. You're learning how the system works, how data flows between applications, while one approach costs twice as much as the other as far as time, effort, understanding is concerned. You're not building the solution, but you're understanding it well enough to explain it to people who aren't technical. You're also working with project managers to track deliverables, manage timelines, and keep everything on schedule. You're seeing how the dependencies work, how scope creep happens, and how to communicate delays without creating panic. You're diving into the data. You're mapping processes, identifying gaps, building requirements documents. You're actually learning to spot patterns, translate confusing information into clear insights, and present findings in a way that actually drive decisions. You are constantly in the role as a business analyst. You are constantly managing stakeholders. You're facilitating workshops with 10 people who all want 10 different things. You're presenting to executives who really only have a few minutes and need to understand the bottom line. And you're building trust with users who are fearful their jobs are going to be taken away. Most entry-level roles in tech consulting only give you one of these, maybe two if you're lucky, but that BA role gives you all of them at the same time. And that's why the role is so powerful. When I was a BA, I wasn't just learning one job. I actually was getting, looking back on it, I was getting a masterclass in 5 different career paths at the same time. Let me break it down what I'm talking about. So project management. Every time I built a project plan, tracked dependencies, or coordinated deliverables, I was learning project management. I was actually seeing the difference between good PMs and bad PMs, basically what good PMs do and what bad PMs miss. Solution architect. Every time I sat in a functional or technical design session and documented requirements, I was learning solution architect. I started understanding how technical and system decisions get made and what makes a solution scalable versus just functional. Data analysis. Every time I analyzed process gaps or built reports from data that was all over the place, I was learning data analysis. I actually started to get comfortable with data, learn how to spot patterns, and figured out how to turn numbers and data, more importantly, into stories. Client relationship management. Every single workshop I facilitated, every difficult client conversation I navigated, every time I had to deliver uncomfortable news, I was learning client relationship management. I learned how to build trust, manage conflict, and keep people connected and engaged even when things got hard. Product management, systems, application management. Every time I prioritized requirements with the client, balanced competing needs, or thought about user experience, I was learning product, system, application management. I was seeing how to figure out what to build and support the client in understanding what needs to stay and what needs to be eliminated or cut. So by the time I was ready to move on from being a BA, a business analyst, I had already done the pieces of all of those roles. I knew at that particular point what I liked and what I didn't. I knew where I wanted to go next because I had already gotten such a broad taste of so many different things. And that's the gateway effect. You're not guessing what to do next. You already know. And let me tell you where this role took me and the people that I worked with. For me, it went like this. Business analyst to tester to training to certified change management practitioner. When I was a business analyst, again, a BA, I realized I love the parts of the role and of the job where I was explaining things to people. So like building training materials, running workshops, helping users understand new systems. I love the people side more than the system side. So I moved into training, and then from there, change management made perfect sense. Again, I now help organizations navigate the human side of technology and business and system transformations, and everything that I learned as a BA, stakeholder analysis, process mapping, communication planning, that's the foundation of literally what I do every single day on these implementations. But what really blows me away sometimes is that, again, the people I started with as BAs, they went completely in different directions. Like I had said earlier, one of them is now a senior project manager running massive ERP implementations. Another one became a solution architect and designs cloud migration strategies. One went client side as a project manager for a software as a service company. Another one moved into data analytics and builds executive and client dashboards. And one is doing organizational change work similar to me. 5 people, 5 completely different careers, but we all started in the same BA role. That is, again, what I mean by gateway. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I don't have a technical background. I can't be a BA. And that is where you are completely wrong. I did not have a technical background either. I was an administrative assistant who graduated with a communication degree. I did not know how to code. I did not have a computer science degree. I just told you, I graduated with a degree in communication. But here's what I know about a BA role. You're not building the solution, you're understanding the problem. You're asking the right questions and documenting what needs to happen. And yes, you will learn how systems work. You will pick up system concepts. You'll get comfortable reading system documentation, but you are learning on the job in context because you need to understand it in order to do your work. By the end of my time as a BA, I was holding conversations on my own Not because I went back to school, but because I was in the room where those conversations happened every single day. So listen, if you are here in an entry level role in tech consulting right now, whether you are admin, administrative assistant like I was, a project coordinator, whatever, target business analyst as your next move. Not because you're going to be in that BA role forever, because I truly believe and know for sure, not because I did it, not because those 5 people that I just mentioned did it, but because I know it's the fastest way to figure out where you want to go and build the skills from there. So this is what I want you to do. In addition to subscribing to the channel and following me, I want you to drop a comment and let me know, where do you want to end up? Project management, organizational change management, testing, product management, solution architect, or something else. I'll read every single one of your comments, and your answer just might shape a future episode. And like I just said, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, because next week I'm breaking down why certifications are not the first step that you need to get to come into tech consulting and what actually matters more. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.